plant, filament of Spirogyra divides into many pieces and each piece can develop into a new organism. So filament of Spirogyra divides into many pieces and each piece develops into a new individual. So this is the filament of Spirogyra. It is divided into two pieces and again each piece start developing into new organism. So that is how fragmentation occurs seen in algae and occurs in the Spirogyra. Each filament develops into a new individual. The next method is regeneration. So in this type of regeneration, suppose accidentally any part of the body is cut. Each part of the body which is cut again develops into new individual, right? So that type of reproduction is known as regeneration. It is also asexual mode of reproduction. Simple organisms can regenerate a new individual. Simple organism can produce a new individual from a part which has been accidentally cut from the body. So any part, if it is accidentally, the body is broken into many pieces also, each piece will develop into a new individual. This is seen in planaria. So if this body is cut into 3 pieces, each piece starts growing and develops into a new organism. So this type of regeneration, type of reproduction is asexual mode and seen in planaria. Next type of asexual reproduction is spore formation. This type of spore formation is seen in fungi as well as the bryophytes. So for example, here we will see rhizopus. In the rhizopus plants on the bread, you see microorganisms and all these developing red greenish structures. They are nothing but fungi. So that fungi growth on the bacteria is nothing but the rhizopus growth. Rhizopus is a fungus. So the rhizopus grows like spores. This is known as the spore here. This is the spore. So sporangium, this is known as the spores. This is the sporangium part of the rhizopus. So this sporangium bears the spores inside. This roundish blob-like structures, BLOB, this roundish blob-like structures are known as sporangium, and these sporangium bear small spores inside. So sporangium is a structure, blob-like structure, which is a spore-bearing organ. So these small dots inside are known as the spores. And when their conditions are favorable, when there is adequate amount of food, moisture, temperature, the spore bursts and releases, the sporangium bursts and releases the spores. So when the conditions are favorable, the blob-like structure sporangium bursts and releases the spores, and that is how spores again reproduce. So that is how sporangium reproduces. Sporangium is a spore-bearing organ. It is a blob-like structure present in the rhizopus. Rhizopus is a fungal growth on the bread. Then when conditions are favorable, that is food, temperature, moisture are available, this sporangium or the spore bursts. Sporangium bursts, releasing spores. So what is the advantage of spore formation? Spore formation ensures the survival even in. So what is the advantage of spore formation? Spore formation ensures the survival of the species, and these spores go and spread in wide areas, right? That is how it spreads over a wide geographical area. The spores burst and go and spread to far away places, right? So in this way, this rhizopus is spread to a wide area, wide geographical area, it spreads. So spore formation ensures the survival. So what is the advantage of this spore formation? Spore formation ensures survival benefits to the organism. When spores is spread via, who are the carriers of spores here? Air, water as well as the animals. So these air, water and animals carry the spores to a large places. So that is how they get the survival benefit, and they spread to large areas and they occupy a wide geographical area. So spores spread over a large area, that is the survival benefit of the organism. The carriers of the spores are air, water as well as the animals, and scientists consider these spores as precursors of seed. So they act like seeds, right? Wherever they go and develop into a new organism, right? Though it is an asexual reproduction, the scientists consider spores as precursors of seed. So that is how, though that is the advantage of spore formation. spore formation is seen in fungi and bryophytes. An example we have studied here is rhizopus. Rhizopus is nothing but a fungal growth on the bread.